this will cost $300,000 for this bottle.
What up, DJ Dilemma here, and if you want to keep the freedom alive on vaping how you want to vape, you better speak up. Today's vlog, we're going to Obsidian Vapes. It's a gig log. Come on, let's go.
Okay, I still got 5 more bottles of this. Who wants it? Come on, guys. First 5 people. Come get them. 3 more. Who wants them? Stuff that we're giving away tonight and helps the PLB. DJ. To vape. They're fighting the FDA. Let me introduce to you, and let's give a really warm welcome to Mr. Alex Clark from CASAA.
Thank you. My name is Alex Clark. I'm the Legislative Coordinator for the Consumer Advocates for Smoke-Free Alternatives Association. I'm actually very honored to be here and have the time to spend with Dave and the other leaders of the Pink Lung Brigade. I said this last night in front of a room full of vendors and business owners, and it bears repeating. A lot of you may not know, CASAA really hasn't had to be very active in Washington State the past couple of years. I know that Kim had mentioned that Gregory Conley came out here in 2011 to help on a bill, but for the most part we've been relatively hands-off, and it's because you guys have such a great, strong state association with the Pink Lung Brigade. So if there's any doubt as to where your donations are going, where your time and energy is going, these guys are doing a fantastic job. And to clarify a point that Dave brought up about us fighting for you at the national level, we do a lot. We work very hard to provide information and opportunities for you guys to engage, but the work that we do is nothing without your participation. So we depend on you very heavily. You guys are the grassroots advocacy. For all the work that these guys are doing at the state level, lobbying to prevent bad legislation or lobbying to get good bills passed, they need your support to come in behind them and show lawmakers just how many people are affected by this issue. And we require the same effort as well. So right now, first of all, is anybody here not a CASAA member? I hate doing that. I feel like how many people are CASAA members here? Yeah. Fantastic. If you're not a CASAA member, it's totally free. It's very easy. Yeah, it is like the easiest. It's easier than winning a bottle of e-liquid. It's totally easy. Before August 8th. Yes, do that before August 8th. My bad. Speaking of which, if you're wondering where to go, how to get involved, go to www.august8th.org. And that'll take you to the most current engagement that you can fill out a form, send an email to your congressperson urging them to support a change to the predicate date. And does everybody understand what I mean by predicate date? I lost all of you. Does everybody, are you familiar with the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act? Okay, we got one person, got 2 people. we also rely on people like Dave to inform their employees so that they can help you understand what's going on. So this is the answer to the question: is why is the FDA doing this to this industry? How are they doing this to this industry? A little bit of background. In 2009, Congress passed the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act, and that gave the FDA the authority to regulate tobacco products. The statute defines tobacco products as anything made or derived from tobacco. The FDA has interpreted this to also mean things like devices that alter or change in some way the delivery of a nicotine-containing product. So the mods, the atomizers, all of these things are all covered under the new regulations. Yes, thank you. The problem with these regulations, which is going to wipe out 99.9% of the industry, is this predicate date. February 15th, 2007, that's the cutoff date. Anything on the market prior to that, like cigarettes, can stay on the market, as it has stayed on the market. Anything that came on the market after February 15th, 2007 has to go through an expensive, prohibitive, pre-market tobacco application. To start, this will cost $300,000 for this bottle. There isn't a company operating today that can afford that. Even the big tobacco companies are worried that they might not be able to get their products through this process. So this is very, very serious business. And I want everybody to understand, you need to be able to talk about this accurately to your friends and family, because after August 8th, and I'm stealing this from Mark because this is such a great thing to say, after August 8th, when somebody comes up to you and says, why can't I get a new flavor? Why are there no new devices? Why are there no new liquids? You tell them, because the FDA is regulating these products. Here's why. The cost is associated with the science that people have to do. It's not a fee that the bottler, the liquid maker, is going to have to pay to the FDA. They have to pay to do population level studies to determine whether or not these products make kids want to vape or smoke or do heroin, whatever unrealistic standard. Some of this science they can borrow from other manufacturers here and there, but a lot of the money is going to go into paying for these studies. To give you an idea of how expensive these studies can be, you might not remember, but about a year or so ago, I'm not going to call him out because he's actually been very supportive of the vaping community and vaping industry, but there is a science guy, public health researcher, who proposed to do a clinical trial that sort of tried to mimic real world situations, which is very difficult to do, but it's very important science. And this study was intended to be something that manufacturers could utilize and put towards their pre-market tobacco application. Can anybody guess how much money he was asking for to do this study? $2.4 million. And if you were to do that, that would go for one product, one flavor. I don't know what this is. Custard's Cross. So we got custard here. There's $2.4 million for that one flavor in one nicotine strength to see how the large population. Can you afford that?
I'm done. That flavor's gone. If that's the case,
You're done.
I can't do it. It's impossible. No one can.
It is vitally important that everybody take action. Urge your congressman to support a change to the predicate date so that that can stay on the market after 2 years, so that all of this stuff can at least stay on the market. August 8th, 2018, anything that hasn't paid the $300,000 to $2.4 million to go through the pre-market tobacco application the FDA will remove it from the market. You have 2 years. We have 2 years. It's not for us. It's for the 40 million smokers out there who haven't had the same opportunity to discover these products. Generally speaking, it's about changing the way that we treat smoking and other addictions. This is a harm reduction approach to solving a massive public health problem. And the beauty of it is that this was born in people's backyard, their garage, their kitchen. People who are passionate about these products and just wanted something different and new that they knew or thought was going to work for them when all else failed. I think that's all I got. I can't believe that's all I got.
Go to CASAA. Go to august8th.org. Get involved. Write your senators. Write your congressmen. Be a part of. Help us fight for you. Next up, NotBlowingSmoke.org. Not Blowing Smoke started out just as a California organization. Just fighting the regulations in California and letting people know what's going on. Because we're not blowing smoke. Are you blowing smoke? No. What is that? Vape. Yeah. Stefan Didak.
Thank you, Dave. Hi, I'm Stefan Didak. I'm the founder and president of Not Blowing Smoke. And first of all, Dave and the rest of the Pink Lung Brigade, thank you very much for having us here. You have an amazing crowd. You have an amazing shop. And what the Pink Lung Brigade has been doing in Washington has been amazing too. Yeah! Now, I'm not going to reiterate the point about registering to vape. I'm going to, registering to vote. Registering to vape, maybe that's something the FDA would like to consider. Registering to vote, it's not just that we want all you registered to vote and vote certain ways. You should also try and get your friends and family involved. Because guess what? Who here has friends and family who are happy that you're no longer smoking? Yeah. And why would they not vote for something that you all believe in and are passionate about? So instead of just focusing on us as vapers, focus on your extended circles and get them involved as well. Now, who here knows the history about Not Blowing Smoke? You do. Okay, so originally it started March last year. Greg Conley did an interview with a newspaper and said, yeah, the reporter afterwards said something about a smear campaign coming up called Still Blowing Smoke. It's being funded by the California Department of Public Health, and they're throwing $7 million at it. So I found their website called stillblowingsmoke.org, had a landing page. I'm a tech guy. Landing page isn't going to stop me. So I saw their content, and I saw what they were going to launch on Monday. At this point, it's Friday evening. And I'm looking for their social media accounts, their Twitter accounts, and everything else. And guess what? They didn't have any, because apparently you can spend $7 million on a smear campaign, but your PR firm is too damn incompetent to register social media accounts. Well, great. I'll register them. I'll call them Still Blowing Smoke. Then I noticed that NotBlowingSmoke.org as a domain name was available, so I spent $12. I spent 38 hours without sleep and built the website, and we launched at the exact same time. Now, this caused a lot of confusion. It also caused us to show up in Google and all the other searches as the top results, which caused them to spend more money to take out advertising in order to score above us. It hasn't helped them very much. In the meantime, public health organizations now hate us because the presentations that they do, half of their slides are filled with our material. So I guess we got under their skin. There's even a study, a scientific study in the British Medical Journal that shows the uptake of not blowing smoke versus still blowing smoke. And it is scientific validation of us screwing their campaign over. It's 8 pages and it's framed on my wall at home because it was that much fun. we started as a big middle finger to the California DPH, and the days after the launch, my phone was blowing up, my PMs were blowing up, I couldn't check my email anymore, I was just like totally overloaded, people offering help, but the biggest thing we heard is, could you do this in my state? Because they're doing something here, and a lot of you might have seen something similar like the billboards in Pierce County. Yeah, exactly. So we decided if we're going to do this seriously, we can't do this state by state. We can't just, I mean, there's just no way. And we also can't do it out of pocket and not on a $12 budget. So we started fundraising for the paperwork to pay for a lawyer, to file for a 501c6, become a nonprofit, and we've actually been one for the past 9 or 10 months now. But we also had to grow up, because you know what? Putting up a middle finger is fun, but you also want to be a little more moderate and a little more serious. So we've been fundraising for pretty much the entire year, and last month I finally was able to cut a check for $31,000 to buy into the gold standard of PR services, which is a thing called Cision, and all the PR agencies use it. So now we're able to reach out to journalists, bloggers, influencers. I can go into the system and say, get me all the reporters that wrote about tobacco and or vaping in the past 6 to 12 months, and filter out the ones that only wrote neutral or positive articles, and they need to be in this state or that city within a certain radius, and they need to be writing for newspapers. It'll get me a list, all their contact details, their phone numbers, their email addresses, their history, everything they've ever written. And we get to contact them. Because as litigation is taking off now, and the FDA is being sued, state matters are still things everybody needs to stay on top of. The one thing that this industry tends to not pay too much attention to is all the negative media going around. We have to combat that, and the only way to do it is out there in the mainstream, because you know what? It's fun being at vape meets or events, but it's always us talking about the exact same thing over and over and over and over again to each other. We should be doing it out there. So now that we have those services, we're gonna like blast the mainstream media with positive stories about vaping. Depending on the region, we're gonna interject issues that are going on. So for example, in California, we're facing a ballot measure. They wanna tax vapor products by 62 to 69% on wholesale. Well, guess what? We're gonna put stories out about vapors and how it improved their lives. And we'll just interject, oh, and by the way, did you know that the state is trying to tax these products out of existence? That's how you get the news out there. That's how you get pressure on there. And last night at the Pink Lung Brigade meeting, I told Dave and the rest of the crowd, this is what we now have access to. So if anything happens here and you need to reach out to mainstream media in Washington, write me what you need out there. Tell me what the parameters are, and we will blast it through mainstream media for you.
Yeah!
And with that, I'm handing it over back to Dave. Thank you, everybody.
I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come all the way up here to this little shop and talk to all these people. You know,
it's not just a little shop, it's a really good little shop.
Thank you. You guys have heard this from me before, and I'm going to say it again. When you guys go home, go to your local vape shop. Ask them if they're a member of the PLB. When they tell you no, ask them why the fuck not.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Ask them if they understand that the only reason they're still in business is because the PLB is here fighting for their ability to stay in business. Ask them why they're not donating to the PLB. Ask them why they haven't joined as a member company. It's $600 a year for a member company to join the PLB. That's $50 a month. You know what? Every one of us can do that. Even those of us who are very, very short on cash, unemployed, have a crappy job, work at a vape shop, you can all put together $5 every month to donate to the PLB so that we can still have these events, so that you still have a safe place to go when you feel like you need a cigarette, and you can come into my vape shop and go, dude, I want a cigarette, and I can talk you through it and help you. Okay? That's what we do here. It's not about cloud chasing, it's not about cloud comps, it's not about trick comps, it's not about all of that crap. It's about that little girl that stood up here and cried earlier because we got to help her quit smoking. It's about this young man back here in the corner that's been winning shit all night long because but he doesn't even have a mod yet, but he wants to quit smoking. He wants to vape. Actually, I think he's borrowing a mod right now.
He's got juice.
Okay. He's got plenty of fucking juice. Yes, he does. Okay. Guys, it's real simple. If your local vape shop isn't a member of the PLB, I got two things to say. One, ask them why not. And two, tell them you're not going to come see them anymore until they become a member of the PLB. Yeah. Seriously, why would you support a company that doesn't support keeping them in business?
And then get one of our business cards. Hey man, I just got a hand-me-down there. He was me, man.
Seriously, guys. Nice. Look at that. See, that's what this community is about. That's what this community is about. Right now, he's borrowing his sister-in-law's mod. And this guy who's never even met him before just said, hey, come see me. I'll give you a hand-me-down mod so that you can vape. Okay. Now, let me ask you something. When you were smoking cigarettes, how hard was it for you to bum a cigarette from somebody? It was a pain in the ass, wasn't it? Because smokers aren't a community. They didn't give a shit. We didn't give a shit about the other smoker. You just had to make sure you had enough cigarettes to get through the day, right? Yeah. As vapors, we're a community. And there's strength in numbers. And there's strength in this room. Because you people are still sitting here. By the way, just so you know, we've only raised about $1,500 tonight. I will tell you something. I'll tell you something. We've had events here where there was standing room only, where there was 120 people in this room. But I decided that this event, there was not going to be a cloud competition. Guess what? I lost a whole bunch of people because there's no cloud comp. No trick comp. Lost a bunch more people. Well, fuck, I'm not coming if there's not a comp. Well, guess what? There won't be any more comps. There's not going to be another competition if all this stuff goes through. So you people are the people I want to see coming back to my shop. Okay? You people and the new people who are out there that need to quit smoking. By the way, after August 8th, I can't tell you this helps you quit smoking. Can't say it anymore. It's against law.
What?
Yep. Yep. I can't tell anybody. Go ahead, Alex.
Technically, no one. No business, no product manufacturer. Already, that's the law. That's been the law for years, since the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act was passed. You can't make health claims about these products without falling under the FDA's purview.
What if someone asks? What if someone comes up to him and asks him, hey, I heard about this from someone else. Can this help me quit smoking? Can he answer yes or no?
You can say, go to NotBlowingSmoke.org. Go to CASAA.org and find out about these products. But you can't make a health claim. You can't make a cessation claim.
So your product can't tell you about it. Don't worry, I got you, boo-boo.
We'll sell
Yes. And that was the other point. Just to restate the point, visit CASAA.org, visit NotBlowingSmoke.org, arm yourselves with information. Because After August 8th, they're going to be more strict about enforcing the no health claims and so on. So business owners like Dave, modified risk claims, store owners like Dave and everybody else are going to rely on you and us to spread truthful information.
What about